The sun, the warmth in my skin, the place I once knew were all left behind for Berkeley's cold breeze and mist.
Dear freshman Clarissa, I know this chapter of your life seems to be filled with ambivalent emotions, anxiety, uncertainty, and self-doubt, counterbalancing gratitude, pride, and hopefulness. I wish I could say you will not encounter the former emotions to protect you from the hurt, but these experiences will build your resilience and teach you formative lessons.
It was something neither of us fully anticipated, the challenges and struggles we would face in a place as beautiful and meaningful to us at UC Berkeley.
In high school, I participated in Experience Berkeley program, which is a program designated to help out students in the process of applying in UC applications. UC Berkeley was my dream school. However, when the time got there to finally apply and submit my application, I had so much self-doubt and fear that I decided not to apply to UC Berkeley. I decided to continue doing my education here at my community college, which is College of the Desert. Once I finished my 2 years, I transferred to UC Berkeley, and this time, I went without no fear, no resentment, no nothing, and I'm just proud of myself for actually doing this process and applying.
I distinctly remember the day that I got accepted. It was a Thursday afternoon, and I was home alone. I had just come back from school. I was just sitting on the living room couch, and I saw that the email from the Berkeley admissions office came through. I opened up the email and I saw that it said, "Congratulations, you've been accepted to Berkeley." I remember sending a screenshot of the acceptance letter to my family, and my dad was at work and both my sister and my mom were out of town. And I was like, oh my goodness, I got accepted to Berkeley. And my mom called me up immediately and she was screaming for joy, just saying, "I'm so proud of you." I remember that was the first thing that she had said. And I started crying on the phone just because of all the emotion and excitement that came from it. At the same time, I always heard about the kind of cutthroat culture, very academically rigorous school, and I was scared that I wouldn't be able to handle that. So I knew that I was gonna have kind of a hard time deciding what school I wanted to go to because of the intensity of Berkeley.
The sand of Coachella embraced the soles of my black Converse, which carried dreams throughout sunny days and quiet nights.
You'll feel the love and encouragement from your family who are proud of how far you've come and will be there to cheer you on, especially during the most stressful times. They are, after all, the people whom you did this for. I grew up with parents who really instilled education in me ever since I was in elementary school. Even though they never had the opportunity to attend college, they always saw the importance of it, and they always kind of ingrained it in both me and my sister, which I really do appreciate. And they wanted their daughters to have that opportunity. That really did motivate me the most to want to pursue higher education.
Being a first generation student to me is being that root that your parents cannot bloom. My parents weren't able to seek higher education. Therefore, education in our family was something very special, and I decided to continue, doing it for myself, but as well as for them. And that's something till this day I continue to seek and keep growing as a person.
I've worked in universities for about 15 years now, and I think, first generation students are in all of the universities that I worked in before. And I think what's something that are some commonalities is that they don't have a lot of family that may have gone ahead of them to give them help on like, okay, I have this loan, how do I deal with this? Or how do I enroll in classes because I've never had to do that by myself? Things like that where you don't know what you don't know, and that's harder, and so you already feel behind because of that, not only in the academics, but just in not being able to rely on your parents like other people, or even aunts and uncles or grandparents, whatever, that may not have gone ahead of you to kind of learn that before. So that's pretty tough and challenging too.
Those struggles compound to really create a first generation experience of you don't know what the next step in your life is going to be, but you're fighting for a better future. So it doesn't matter what that struggle is, you're going to find a way to overcome it. And I think that's such a beautiful thing about students who are first generation is, yes, we struggle, and yes, we may not have those same levels of support or those same pillars of like knowledge that other people have access to, but we'll find a way to overcome it and just succeed.
My converse led me to a city of wonders, where life feels like a scene, from dust to fog, from sand to sea, from a place I used to embrace to a new chapter.
You'll recognize how far you've come and the devotion it took to get to where you are now. Don't let those fears obstruct your belief in yourself and your dream of achieving higher education.
The initial few months were really hard for me because I, for the first time, was really struggling in my courses. And I remember there were a lot of tears that came out from my calculus class specifically. And just this kind of battle that I had with my perfectionist self and wanting to do the best that I can. And even though I was really trying to do the best that I can, it wasn't really living up to this expectation that I had always set up for myself.
Coming in as a transfer student to UC Berkeley, I never thought I was going to face many challenges, but one of them was imposter syndrome. I thought, coming to something that I dreamed about was going to be rainbows and happiness, and I was going to make friends right away. But little did I know it was going to be very different from that, as I come from Coachella Valley, which is a small area in Southern California. And coming to UC Berkeley, everything was different. The culture, the environment, the people, even the school setting was very different. As a transfer student, our classrooms are usually between 10 kids, maybe 20, in comparison to going to, a big lecture where it might be like 50 students in a lecture. I felt like there's a competitive environment there. I remember I felt really isolated when I first came. I felt alone. I thought maybe there's something wrong with me. But little by little, I was able to adapt to this culture shift.
Imposter syndrome is where you feel like you're already behind other people, you feel like you're less than, you don't match up to somebody else. And I think transfer students feel that because they had to start maybe at a community college, even if it was just a year or two, that they feel like they're already behind. And especially with such a high caliber four-year institution like UC Berkeley, not feeling like you might make connections and meet other people that kind of understand where you're coming from.
If I'm being so totally honest, I think I still struggle a lot with imposter syndrome. It was definitely a lot worse when I was a first year. That feeling of like, oh, I don't belong here. This seat is meant for someone else. It's true what they told me back home. I am the diversity candidate. Especially when I would hear these conversations, like people who had family members who are already in this professional space. Learning to navigate through that and just having to work towards, oh, I deserve to be here, was definitely a journey in itself.
One piece of advice that I would say to first generation students would be to go to as many things in the beginning of the year when you first start. So do the orientation, go to the welcome fairs, show up to different events, because that's sort of low-hanging fruit, right? You don't have to talk to anybody. You could just go get the free shirt or the free food or whatever like that. And maybe, hopefully, you meet other people that you can kind of connect with. And if you don't, that's okay, go, but just be open to going out.
The way that I definitely was able to overcome that was through words of encouragement from my parents. It reminds me of like why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I'm fighting so much and why I'm pushing myself throughout my academics. Even if someone thinks I don't deserve to be here, I now know I deserve to be here, and I'm going to show them why I deserve to be here.
I learned that even though I'm now an upcoming senior, I still feel imposter syndrome lingering. Whether it is while I'm walking in classes, lectures, or sometimes when I'm even alone, I let the overthinking come. But little by little, I was able to adapt, I was able to make friends and get out of my own comfort zone and be my own voice, which is something that I'm very proud of and I will continue seeking.
A piece of advice I would give to current first generation students is first to really be proud of how far you've come and really recognize all that it took to get to where you are now. Don't try to compare yourself to what other people are doing, how well they're doing in school, how good they are at something, because I know from personal experience it is really easy to be caught up in comparison and kind of feel like you are really far behind in certain things. I've just come to learn to remind myself that focus on yourself and focus on your own path.
Dear freshman Clarissa, it'll feel like you are just at the beginning of writing your story. Despite the challenges you will face, you will emerge resilient. Know that I am proud of you at every stage of this journey. Your future self is applauding you with unfaltering understanding that you are trying your best. With love, your future self.
We walked together with my Converse in the city of wonder, leaving behind my old pair. I step into this new Converse. We walk together to a new camino.